the young quarterback's a very delicate thing. It's like nourishing a little bird in a nest. You gotta feed that thing with worms, mouth to mouth. The thing can't go get a worm on its own yet.
So I just chatted with your buddy Gronk last week, actually, and he pretty empathetically said that the Pats are going to struggle this year, but obviously 1 week down. It didn't look like the case. Obviously, it was against a Bengals team that's overflowing with issues, but still, they were the greatest dogs of the weekend. So where do you think that came from?
Well, I think it came from two things. What you said with the Bengals, they have a lot of distractions in those locker rooms. I mean, up until game time, we didn't know if Jamar Chase is going to play. We didn't have meaningful reps with Jamar Chase. And I know Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase know each other like the back of their hand, but you still got to you gotta have some reps together in order to get that chemistry. So, that was an issue. Higgins not playing is an issue. All the distractions and hearing that the Bengals don't start very good because they're 1-5 in opening day since Zach Taylor is an issue. And then you go on the other side and you look at the Patriots, and the Patriots are a team that's been, flying under the radar. Everyone's talked about how they are a 4-win season, a 4-win team. You got a new coaching staff with Jerod Mayo and his coaches out there that have a lot to stand up, or they have it's a huge situation to, stand in and be the guy after some consider the greatest coach of all time to go in there. But the reason they won the game is because they played the game they wanted to play. They didn't turn the ball over. They took 2 takeaways away. They owned the time of possession. They won on third down. They had, great play in the special team side of the ball. I mean, it looked like a old school Patriots win. So I'm so happy for Jerod Mayo and all the coaches and players that got that win, because what this does is it creates confidence in that new team and that new nucleus of guys that, hey, our coaches have been bitching at us and telling us that we got to do this, all camp, all offseason. We've been hearing from outside that we're not this. But, we ignored the noise and listened to the coach, and we did it. Oh, and we won a game against a team that should have probably beat us. So why don't we build off that and go into week 2 against Seattle and do it again? So it's a great starting point for the Patriots.
Right. And you spent time in that locker room when Mayo was your teammate. So could you kind of explain why he was Kraft's choice to replace Belichick in New England?
I don't necessarily know, why he was Kraft's choice. You have to ask Kraft that, but I can tell you that Jerod was one of the smartest teammates I ever had. He was a great communicator. When you were in the locker room, he could talk to any guy in the locker room, which is a thing. So having those communicative skills and he's a sharp dude. Like after his football career, he went to finance for a couple years, and then he's like, did well in that, and then came back and started, he's a smart guy. So, I'm really excited for him, and I hope they use this win to show the team, hey, doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. Let's have an opportunity. Let's go out and play our best football, and, you can collect some wins that way.
There were some rumblings in the NFL world, obviously, about choosing the starting quarterback in New England and putting rookie Drake Maye on the bench. But if you played with Brissett and you know him, so do you feel like this was the right call at quarterback?
I definitely do. I think this is the right call. Jacoby, he's a veteran. He knows how to win games. He's won games in the National Football League. He's a great example for a young guy to learn from on how he prepares, how he takes care of his body, how his mannerisms are in the meeting room. How he watches film. I think, all those things, Drake don't know how to do any of that yet. I know he's number 3 draft pick, but, he hasn't played that much football. He's still very young. And the simplest thing, like communicating a personnel and a play to a huddle, that's not easy. You want, when you go into the game, you want those things tightened up easy so you can go out and put your athleticism in the game. You have to mentally be sharp for that. And I don't think he's necessarily ready for that. And also, the Patriots didn't give up a sack last game, but they did have, a lot of questions in their offensive line. So, do you want to go and put a young buck out in with the offensive line, the jaws of death, and batter his little brain? Like, that's probably not the smartest thing for the development of Drake Maye. So I think it was the right decision. And if you put Drake Maye in and he starts out slow, you can't take him out because it'd kill his confidence. I mean, the young quarterback's a very delicate thing. It's like nourishing a little bird in a nest. You got to feed that thing with worms, mouth to mouth. The thing can't go get a worm on its own yet.
Hey, sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.